Today I want to talk about a rumor slash leak surrounding Call of Duty 2020, which I'm just going to call Black Ops 5 for simplistic reasons, and because that's what I've been calling for a while now, and I'm just going to continue calling it that until we figure out what it's actually going to be called. But regardless, what this rumor is in relation to is of course the zombies mode, but more than that, it's directly tied to something that I find incredibly important about the zombies mode, of course being the storyline itself. And what this leak is, and I'm sure you guys may have already heard this, is that Black Ops 5 Zombies is going to have the Aether storyline, except it's going to be a reboot of the Aether storyline. And when I first heard that, I really don't know what to make of it. Of course, I gotta wait to see what it actually has to offer, and I mean, it's just something that without seeing something, I just don't know what to make of it. Like, that is honestly how I'm feeling, because if I'm being honest, the Aether storyline, last we saw of it, didn't really end on the highest note, which kind of sucks because the Aether storyline was one of my favorite stories to follow really ever, just because of how unique it was in how they told their story, and what the story they were telling was so unique in so many ways that it was just really cool. And I think so many people can agree with me here, but and I felt this way about the Aether storyline really from Black Ops 2's Mob of the Dead all the way till the launch of Black Ops 4, of course including Blood of the Dead and Classified. But after that, I mean, there are things that I like in the story in the final two maps, of course being Alpha Omega and Tag der Toten, but I mean, it really wasn't what I wanted out of the story, and I don't think it's what a lot of people wanted out of the story, especially for it to end in that way. It was just not the best way to end, and it really sucked because it just adds on to the giant list that I have already, it feels like, of great stories that had a poor ending. Like, it's just something that you have to accept, that no matter how great something is while it exists, the ending just seems like it's so hard to get, which I've never wrote a story in such a great extent that I would know the difficulty of that, but it seems like it's something that a lot of writers have a problem with, and that's figuring out how to end a great story, which really sucks. But of course, this is where my kind of indifference feeling comes from in relation to an Aether reboot, because, like, I mean, I didn't like where Aether ended, so I'd like to see a reboot and just for them to get it right maybe on the second try, but at the same time, it's a reboot, so we're losing everything that made the Aether storyline special, like all of Black Ops 3, all of Black Ops 1, all of World at War, all of Mob of the Dead, and Origins. They're all gone. I mean, it just kind of sucks that we're losing all of that, because we may have the same characters, we may see similar themes, we may see 115 again, but we're losing so much of the story that we had in the past, and I just find that to be kind of, and I don't even know, kind of sad, I guess. I really don't know how to really make up what I really feel about that, and that kind of sucks to some extent, but at the same time, like, there are positives to having this reboot, and honestly, I'm just, again, indifferent in this feeling towards it, because technically we've already seen a somewhat of a reboot in the Aether storyline before. If you guys, of course, remember Origins, that was pretty much just like a soft reboot, and that's the thing, is that it was a soft reboot, and that's why it was kind of okay with me, because, like, that was a soft reboot, and that meant that everything in the past was still, you know, there. It was still happened. Those things still had relations to the story, even though a lot was changed and we're following pretty much new characters on forward. Still, everything before that still happened, but with this hard reboot, I just don't really know. And I mean, that is something that they could also take into consideration. Maybe we're not getting a hard reboot and we're just going to get another soft reboot. Maybe we're going to see a direct continuation of what happened at the end of Tag der Toten, of course, where Samantha and Eddie went into the quote-unquote perfect world, the cleansed world, or the world without corruption, whatever you want to call it. And maybe that world isn't so great after all, and then something something happens there, and then we get to play as a new version of Richtofen, of course being Eddie, and we're going to call him Eddie in that one. And then maybe Samantha's finally going to be a playable character, which, I mean, I'm not going to lie, just thinking about it gets me a little excited, but at the same time, we're losing Takio, we're losing Dempsey, and we're losing Nikolai, all of these other characters that we really liked also, not to mention Dr. Maxis and all those people. Or maybe that's not what they mean by a reboot. Maybe it's a soft reboot in the sense that maybe the story is going to continue, except it's going to continue in the Dark Aether, because we know that's where everything was banished to, right? All the evil, all the Apothicans, the Keepers, Dr. Monty, the Shadow Man, are playable characters that are kind of dead now, so it doesn't really matter because Ultimus and Victus are both dead, so they wouldn't really have a part to do with anything. So maybe we're following Victus, and I just don't know. I don't know if I like that one, to be honest. I think that one sounds pretty bad, but regardless, it's still something that could be the case. But I don't know, it's just kind of this weird feeling I have towards. I mean, there's things that I could like in this. Again, there's things that I like because I love the characters. I'd love to see them again in a hard reboot, because with a hard reboot, we could get Dempsey again, we could get Nikolai again, we could get Takio and Richtofen and Samantha, Maxis, we get all these characters again. But, I mean, we're still losing everything they did in the past. But, of course, we have the other option, and if it's a soft reboot, we could have all of the past still matter, but it doesn't change the fact that Ultimus is all dead, and also Primus is all dead, and that's kind of unfortunate. So, regardless, that's just how I feel towards this idea of an Aether reboot. It's something that I'm going to have to wait and see, and I just hope that if it is a soft reboot or a hard reboot, regardless, I just hope it's something good, because that's all I really want out of the storylines, that it's good, interesting, has great characters, and has a unique way to portray these characters, portray the story just like it has had in the past, and not do what Black Ops 4 did with the story. But regardless, again, those are my thoughts and everything. I'd love to hear what you guys think about the idea, because I've been like pretty much just telling you guys exactly how I think about it. Of course, that's the point of the video, but I'd love to hear what you guys think of the idea of a hard reboot and a soft reboot, or just what you think should happen. Do you think there shouldn't be any reboots at all? Do you think they should just start a new storyline, continue chaos? I just want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions, because nothing has been confirmed yet, and these are still just rumors and leaks, so we don't know anything for sure. But we probably will be knowing some things very soon, because it's already April pretty much, and I mean, that's about when we start to see our next year's Call of Duty start to come into existence, I guess you could say. But regardless, that's about it for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead, do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm gonna go, and I'll catch you guys in an extreme video or whatever it may be, and laters, guys.